What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Doom Patrol. This is season 1, episode 13, Flex Patrol. So, last time, Silas Stone is dead, apparently. Um, Everyone's back together. The butts are loose. The Bureau might be dead, or at least defunct for now. So, we got 3 more episodes left to find Mr. Nobody and Niles and the mystery woman that's immortal, possibly. Should have updated this setup. Anyways, so yeah, we'll just see where this episode goes. Let's get into this. This Rita flashback.
It's Mentallo.
This man really walk around in tiger print, cheetah print. Okay, this is not socially acceptable for the
Our
times.
hometown hero,
Something is going on.
Mentallo, has done it again, folks. Man of muscle.
It is him. Okay, I was gonna say maybe the bearded guy in 722 or whatever was Flex.
He made
I think
short
it's the
work
same.
of the dastardly
He doesn't have
dishhead
facial
by
hair
manipulating the
anymore.
vibrational wavelength.
Whose pants is this?
It's me, Flex Mentallo, man of muscle mystery.
It's me.
How can I be of service? Kitty.
What the fuck?
Target acquired.
What? He also kind of, if you guys have played the Mass Effect series, he looks like the Elusive Man. I know it's based off Martin Sheen, but he kind of looks like the Elusive Man.
He's still alive,
Yes,
but we
thank
have
you.
to get him out of here.
Jane, tell Flint to do the thing.
Right.
Tell her?
Oh boy.
Jesus, you know what I
I'm
mean.
sorry if I missed the subtext of your incredibly blunt directive. Why don't you mansplain it to me?
If there ever was a time for you to let something go, this is that time. We nailed. Woo! Let's hear it. Yeah. Woo!
Just,
Yeah. Who's Flex Mentallo?
Look, we're not attached to the hip anymore, okay?
I think he's the thing keeping you alive.
Wait. You could hear it?
And then some. Is there something in there with you?
So to speak. Look, I don't feel like talking anymore, okay?
So he
Say,
can
pal,
sort of talk with
what's your
extra
name?
dimensional beings or something.
No escaping this place.
Larry.
Don't you want to at least try?
Right.
Stop talking to me.
My name's Flex Mentallo.
Another
Nothing I
brain
had done
meld
it.
with the
Hey,
negative
Jane,
spirit.
can you
like they
help
did
me out
with
with this?
Jane and Cliff.
You just ripped the ass off, didn't you?
Yeah.
Friends, that chief? Well, he's a real no-good son of a you-know-what. What'd he do? Well, nothing, considering that he died 20 years ago. Wait, what?
Look, shitbag, I've known the chief for 50 years, and if he had died, I would have noticed.
Well, not if his identical twin brother replaced him. Whoa, say what now? His name was Nick.
The fuck?
Yeah, Nick grew up so full of hate and rage that by the time he met
He's
Chief,
just-
sister.
This is frickin'
And she was in a coma when she gave birth, right?
Sweetheart, whatever his sitcom, soap opera thing.
He's talking about Chief Kincaid from Secret Heart, some fucking
Yeah.
crappy soap opera.
Mr. Nobody told us not to go after him.
So,
Should've listened.
he's a bad guy. What do you expect? You can't run away from the bad guys. You have to stop them.
Do you have any idea what you're doing?
Nope.
Hey, I just remembered.
What?
Secret Hearts is on in 5 minutes. Oh, fuck me.
After the news broke that Steve Larson, better known as Animal Vegetable Mineral Man, had reached an immunity deal with federal prosecutors in exchange for information about a mysterious medical facility hidden deep in a Paraguayan jungle. As Larson approached... We have no comment! Stop talking! Shut up!
So he's dead? Oh my god!
Thankfully, Larson was only shot in the minerals and
Oh.
is expected to make a full
Are you gonna delve into this baby thing?
Which one is this? Jeez.
Oh my god! I thought he was just gonna stand in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Where's the
Well,
receptionist?
if you do find a
Why don't you
family
go like
member to
find
help
it?
me,
There's a doctor right there.
I'm going to nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize. We have to own our mistakes, no matter how terrible.
That poor girl didn't have anyone, so she came to me. I gave her $100, and I sent her on her way. I was in the spotlight again, and it was just as warm as I remember. Looking the other way should be so much harder than it actually is. Everything that happened to me on that picture, and everything that happened after. I deserved all of it. I, too, have spent a lifetime searching for absolution, but it will never come. Let me go.
That's not
Please.
legal.
You
What
have
kind
no
of fucking
right.
government
Wait for my
is
what?
this?
Get it!
Oh my
More
god.
chocolate slice? Yeah? Yeah!
Waka, I'm a pole position man.
Hey, there he is!
It's my hero, race car driver Cliff Steele.
That's right, Billy. I'm race car driver Cliff Steele. Turn it right for Buster.
Oh my god, is that you?
You know, there actually was some buzz about a daytime Emmy for me after this aired.
For what? Best supporting ass clown?
Hey,
Right.
you know, acting's
A
hard,
Razzie.
right? I can tell you're upset,
Fuck off, Cliff.
and you have every right to be.
Kill yourself, Cliff.
And I just want to say
Eat shit, Cliff.
that I'm sorry. I saw things you probably didn't want Nate to see, even though I didn't mean to. Still, that wasn't cool, and I'm sorry. I only wanted to help, and I just want to say, if you ever need to talk about it, I'm here.
I don't need to talk about it.
It should make you feel better. Strong and fast.
Oh my god!
Wow, Cliff, you're really good.
There was some buzz about a daytime Emmy for me. No. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?
I don't feel right.
No. It's okay. Here, sit down.
What the fuck?
What's happening? What's happening? No.
You may not trust your father or yourself, but you can trust me.
Who's this man?
Well done, Rita.
This episode proved to be quite the cathartic journey for you, Miss Farr. Looks like you're finally ready to... Oh, God, there's more?
Cliff?
Dude. Shit. Where's the negative spirit?
Jesus, what's happening?
No, don't.
Larry, don't be a bitch.
Dun 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 dun. Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind. A superhero team I can actually use. Right versus wrong. Good versus evil. Hero versus villain. That's me.
I really liked that episode. That was really, it was slower, but it was still very engaging. Um, see, that's, I don't know how to put it. Like, it had the same kind of beats as Hair Patrol, that episode, but for some reason this one was just better. Like, it just, it had the same sort of subplot of, we have this character, we're learning about the history of this one character that we don't really know, so Niles versus Flex. And then the other plot is, it was Rita and Vic doing things on their own. Those are the two subplots pretty much. So, um, it was very beat for beat similar, but for some reason this episode was just so much more engaging. Um, I don't really know how to describe it, but if you agree with me, please say so in the comments because I feel crazy for criticizing that one episode so much, but then it's just something about it. Like there's just a difference, even though like if you look at the storyboard, it's kind of like the same pieces, but the way that it's filled in is better. Um, so let's start with characters, and then we'll just kind of discuss from there. Cliff, Cliff stuff, great comedy this episode. Um, I'm glad that he finally got to kind of say what he needed to say to Jane. Um, because we haven't really had that interaction for a couple episodes, really. Um, so I'm glad that he kind of got off his chest, like, I'm sorry for invading your personal space. I just wanted to kind of help you out. You know, please don't, don't hate me for that. And that he respects her privacy and all that, So it was nice kind of see that, she accepted that apology too. She's still like, no, I don't really want to talk about it, but at least she's not like, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, At least she's like, okay, you know. So that was good. And then the comedy parts with him in the sitcom, just Brendan Fraser. Oh no, I am race car driver Cliff Steele. Why? Like, it says robotic as Robot Man. um, and we got Jane. We'll go over to her. Um, it's interesting. I don't know if this was just sort of to gloss over it and not having to write so much for her character, but when Flit was out, it wasn't really her personality too much. Um, I think they did it. She was used a couple times in this episode, so I think one of the times she actually kind of did have that Valley Girl like, let's do this, that we saw in the Francis Patrol. Um, or when we seen Flit before, she was kind of very much like, this is boring, let's do this. She's kind of like got this Valley Girl thing going. But I didn't really see that here. Again, it could have just been to sort of speed things along, or it could have been um, the more interesting thing, which I don't know if they'll touch on, but it could have been that she is sort of gaining access to the powers without having to give up full control of the body. Like basically Jane is able to use other people's powers now without having to give up the body. So like she'd be able to use Karen's mind control without having Karen come out, full blonde hair and kind of that persona. But again, it could have just been like a writing thing. But it'll be interesting to see going forward if maybe it is a hint that she's getting more control over her powers as a whole and her personalities. They're letting Jane be the persona at the top, but then they're kind of just like, amplifying her from the underground. Um, Larry, um, someone in the comments was saying, if Matt Bomer doesn't want to come back, they could do some other character in season 2. And I know from what I've read, the Negative Spirit has had other hosts before. So it could be possible, but with how popular his character is with Larry, um, and I just feel like I could see it being that, like you guys say, they could make other hosts possible. But I don't know if I'm ready for that to happen. Um, and so obviously we are finding out that, excuse me, there's a symbiotic relationship between the two. Um, so obviously at the end it was showing, and throughout this whole episode, that Larry's physical body was giving way because the negative spirit is kind of like supercharging it and keeping him alive. Um, but I thought in the flashback it was when they were experimenting on him, I thought they were saying that the negative spirit could only survive for so long, like that 5 hours or whatever. I thought they were talking about him, not Larry. Um, so I don't know, but at the end they kind of made it seem like only Larry's the one dependent. Um, but yeah, it's there's some sort of symbiotic relationship between the two. Um, I was going to say, oh yeah, I'll go into that now. The immortality thing. I is it I want them to address it somehow. Either Mr. Nobody, and then it's just like a joke thing, like yeah, they're just all immortal because it's easier that way, or it's an actual in-lore reason why they are immortal. Um, but I want somebody to address why they are immortal. Um, Obviously Larry, we had a kind of thing here, like, yeah, his body's catching up to him, so, he's not technically immortal. But then, like, we have Rita, again, hers is kind of self-explanatory as well, that she can shapeshift to an extent, so she can kind of keep her general appearance. But then you have Jane, who, not, unless one of her, like, her base power is that she can retain her physical age, um, there shouldn't be a reason why. She was from the 60s. I think she was born in, let's see, 1950? Because she's supposed to be 69. I know the joke was that she's 69 years old this year, 2019. So, math, yeah, she 1950. Um, so there's no way, like, there has to be an explanation for that. Cliff's a brain. And then Flex, Flex as well. I don't know if he's going to be joining the team now that Cyborg's gone, but Flex is immortal. But then we saw that Dolores, his wife, wasn't. She aged normally. So obviously she was a normal person and Flex has superpowers. So is it something with that? Is it because of the ant farm? What is the reason why? And again, I don't really care if it is just like a joke, like Mr. Nobody kind of fourth wall breaking, like at the end here. I don't care if it's just like, oh yeah, like everyone's immortal because why would they age? That's just too complicated for this to explain. I don't if they do a throwaway line like that, I'm fine with it. Like I'll accept that because I love the show so much and it makes sense for the show. Like, I'm not looking for a logical explanation or anything. I just want some sort of explanation. Because again, it just kind of throws me off every once in a while. It's like some people are immortal, some people are not. Niles is, but then Dolores is not. They're both human as far as we know. Um, so yeah. Um, so then again, going into Flex and Cyborg, I don't know. It sounds like Cyborg is kind of off the show now, which is fine. Um, uh, as much as I love him on the show, he was definitely not. It was kind of like the Doom Patrol plus Cyborg. It wasn't really Cyborg was part of the Doom Patrol, so I'm okay with it. I love his character though, so I really hope he comes back in a season 2 of Titans, somewhere in this universe of DC universe shows. I'd love for him to come back. I think he's a great Cyborg. And if this is how his story wraps up for now, I think it's good. At least space down the line for Grid to actually get a physical body, do Forever Evil kind of stuff. But for now, it's a good wrapping up point, like I said, and it makes sense for, I'm glad that the rest of the characters are kind of okay with it. They're not dependent on him anymore. They've grown to a point where, they're ready to be heroes and step up, and they don't need Vic to kind of be their taskmaster almost, So I'm really proud of them. And, again, like I said, I love this character. I really want him to continue. So please put him in other shows. I love it. And make a movie now already. Okay, make a damn movie. We could do a cyborg movie. Um, okay. Cyborg, and then Flex. Still not sure what his powers are. He's got some sort of reality bending thing. Because he's able to talk to the negative spirit, able to sort of rip the fabric of space almost with the way he was taking the concrete wall down and then putting it back up. At the end there, he had his meltdown where he exploded all the lights. I don't know. I think that was just kind of like an explosion of power, like, not really indicative. Um, in the beginning, he had him summoning random things, and he was able to like bend the tree. So I know it has something to do with him like flexing his actual muscles, and then like something happens. I just don't know what that thing is. Um, but he's very powerful, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see him if he does. I'm assuming he's gonna continue on the show for at least the next episode, maybe through the season. It's only 2 episodes left now, but it'll be interesting to see if he joins this group or is he just kind of assisting them for the time being, like Cyborg was. Eh, I'm not gonna touch on his beards because it was very distracting. We'll just say that. Um, Let me see. Rita, damn, that was a really good monologue by her. Um, that was one take. So, I mean, I don't know if it's first take, but like when she was in the hospital talking to the old man, which turned out to be Mr. Nobody, which I don't know why. We'll come back to that. He'll be the last thing I'll touch on. But with Rita, it was a very good monologue, and I I see why it haunts her. She felt like she could do more. She felt like she kind of abandoned Mary Beth, and she was kind of the cause of her killing herself. But at the same time, I don't know, it's hard. Like I you know, I kind of agreed with her that, she would, I that Mary Beth had to find her own way. Um, but it was also in Rita's power to help her out. She was doing well off. She was getting picture deals and stuff, so she was obviously wealthy. Um, and so she could have done more. Um, I'll have to rewatch this, and I forgot what happened to the baby. Um, but I know that she said she tried to look for the baby and take care of her, but then she was like, "Oh, but I got swept away with this Forbidden Congo thing," and then we know what happens from there. Um, so I wonder if the baby is going to come up later in like a season 2 kind of thing. Like maybe she does come back, the baby comes back, and as an adult now, and there's some sort of stuff to go over there or what. But I'm glad that at least Rita has gotten it out into the open. And again, she's being she's making great strides through this season to be more and more helpful and compassionate, which is really good because she's kind of stepping up into this leader role. Um, to be, she's got the plan now. She's the first one, willing to go. At the start of the season, it was Cliff. Cliff was the one willing to do everything and starting everything, and Rita kind of just like, oh, all right, I'll do it, But now she's like, no, let's do this. We got this. We got Flex. We got Cyborg's plan. Let's go and do this. She's very much putting her foot down, and I appreciate it that she's gotten the will to be a hero. And maybe she won't be able to, in her own mind, make up for the sins of her past, but it's still good that she is doing good, even if it's just for the sake of doing good. But yeah, no. April Balby, I don't know how to say her last name, I'm sorry. But the actress, she did great. She's, again, I think one of the underappreciated actresses and in characters in this show. So I just want to give my props to her because there's so many. Matt Bomer is doing great. Yeah, Brandon Fraser's doing great. Diane Guerrero is the knockout underdog of the show. Um, and not to take away from any of them, but I'm just saying, it's always those three, and I feel like we need to just acknowledge that, her, Jovi and Wade, Cyborg, both doing great performances as well. Um, And then lastly, we'll talk about Mr. Nobody. I don't know why he, like, this whole time he's been trying to dissuade them from following him because he's like, I'll fuck you up. But then, he's this person in the hospital and trying to help her process her grief and her guilt. So like, why would he be helping them to find him? In a way, that's what he's doing. I don't really get that. So maybe it's just, he's like, well, if you're gonna come at me, and I'll destroy you. And maybe that's what it is. He's kind of like, okay, let's do this already so I can get you out of the way. But I don't know. And then the end, just like I said, the fourth wall breaking is great. It was like very much like a product placement kind of thing. Like, you like my shirt? You like my mug? I got this blanket. Look at the poster. It's like, it honestly kind of worked because I was like, do they have all that merch? Maybe I'll buy some on on the app. I know they have a store there, so maybe I'll look it up. Um, but yeah, no, Alan Tudyk, amazing as always. He's doing a really great job as a villain. Um, I can't really think off the top of my head of any other villain performances he's done. I'm sure there are, but from what I know him as, he's usually the quirky kind of supporting character. So to see him in this show as the villain is really great because he's doing a great job. He's got this very menacing voice while also being charming and charismatic. Um, so I just applaud it. Okay, that is all the things I can think about. Um, Post your thoughts in the comments below. What did you thought of this episode? Again, I think it was a really great episode. It was slow at parts, but it definitely was intriguing the whole time through. Do you agree with me about the part about the comparison to Hair Patrol? I feel like they kind of were similar, but then this is where Flex Patrol was, and here's Hair Patrol. It's just something about it was like completely different. Um, yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen in the next two episodes? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.